Today's subject is the relationship between Kundalini and Kalaki. The word Kalaki actually is an abbreviation of the word Nishkalank. Nishkalank means the same as my name is, which means Nirmala. It is spotlessly clean. Something that is spotlessly clean is Nishkalank, without any spots on it. Now this incarnation has been described in many Puranas. Will be coming on this earth on a white horse. In a village of Sambalpur they call it, Sambhalpur. It's very interesting how people take everything so literally. The word Sambhala means, Bhala is this forehead, Sambhal means at that stage. That means Kalaki is situated on your Bhal. Bhal is the forehead. And here he is going to be born. That is the real meaning of the word Sambhalpur. In between Jesus Christ and his destroying incarnation of Mahavishnu, called as Kalaki, there is a time given to human beings to rectify themselves, for them to enter into the kingdom of God, which in the Bible is called as last judgment. That you will be judged, all of you will be judged on this earth. The population of the world is the maximum, they say, because practically all those who had aspirations to enter into the kingdom of God are born in the modern times and are going to be born very soon. This is the most important time because Sahaja Yoga is the last judgment. It is fantastic to hear this, but that's a fact and it's the truth. Though you can understand that mother's love makes it very easy for you to get to your realization, and that the whole story of last judgment, which looks such a horrifying experience, has been made very beautiful and very tender and delicate and doesn't disturb you. But this is the last judgment, I tell you, and you all are going to be judged through Sahaja Yoga whether you can enter into the kingdom God or not. Now in Sahaja Yoga, people come in with different kind of attentions or chitta. There could be people who have too much of tamasic vrittya, or what we call the inertia or the more sort of sluggish or slow-moving temperaments. These, when they are exaggerated, people take to spirits or take to alcohols or to some such things which take you away from reality and make you numb with it. The other side is, as you know, right-hand side, people who have got too much ambitions. They are extremely ambitious people. They want to win the whole world and they want to become something independent on their own, malignant and cancerous. They do not want to keep their relationship with the whole. You can see in this Kali Yuga how people have gone to their extremes. Some of them are very much indulging into too much of alcoholism, or you can call it something running away from your awareness, from yourself, from truth, the beauty. The others are denying it. They are denying everything that is beautiful and are ego-oriented. So we have people who are super ego-oriented, very much conditioned and lethargic and lazy and absolutely primitive. The other side is that we have people who are extremely ambitious, dominating, and are destroying each other by their ambition and competition. These two types of people of extreme nature are rather difficult to enter into Sahaja Yoga. But the people who are in the center are easily absorbed in the Sahaja Yoga. Moreover, people who are less complicated, simple-hearted as they are in the villages, are very easily absorbed by Sahaja Yoga and they take to it without any difficulty. Say in the city you can see the result of so much of work of mine that there are hardly about 200 to 300 people today over here. But if I go to a village, the whole village, say up to 5,000 to 6,000 people come round and all of them get their realization without any difficulty. Because here people are supposed to be very busy, they have so many other preoccupations. They think other things are much more important than seeking God and wasting your time in such pursuits like seeking God. Under such circumstances, Sahaja Yoga takes its roots very sweetly into the heart of all the seekers. It works very spontaneously. You get your realization without any difficulty, without any effort, without paying for it, without going into any sort of strenuous exercise. But when we talk of Kalaki, we have to remember that between getting our realization and entering into the kingdom of God, we can falter very much. This is called as Yoga Bhrashta Sthiti. People take to yoga, they come into yoga and are then enchanted still by their pravrittis. For example, an ego-oriented man or a money-oriented man or a man who wants to dominate can form a group of people whom he would dominate by his ideas and can go in for a fall and the rest of them will also go down. In Sahaja Yoga itself. This has been happening in Bombay very, very often. It's a very, very common thing that has been going on. But this is called as Yoga Bhrashtata. When a person falls from his yoga, he comes down on his yoga because Sahaja Yoga gives you all the freedom whether to fall or to come up. But if you go to any other guru, doing any other sort of yoga in which purification takes place and where people are trained and disciplined from very childhood, in those yogas, a guru will somehow or other see that you are injured or you are hurt so badly that you have no connections with anybody else. It's like an operation. They take out that personality and throw him up. But here it is left to your freedom to understand that you have to keep to the mains. You have to keep to the group. You have to keep to the whole and not to one person here and there who is trying to overpower the rest of it. In Sahaja Yoga, anybody who tries to come up too much comes down. Because in nature you have seen nothing grows out of bounds. Like human beings are of a certain height, the trees are of certain heights. Everything is controlled. You cannot try to show off in Sahaja Yoga, neither you should try to make a different group or a different type of some special thing. Especially I have seen in Sahaja Yoga there are people who come up and ask people to touch their feet. It is most surprising that invariably such people get exposed in no time and one knows that they are gone. Because their chakras are caught, they are badly caught. Though they may not feel for a while, the vibrations may be there, but they go down and down and down till they are completely finished. Now this Yoga Bhrashta Sthiti is the worst thing that can happen to anyone. First of all, you don't get your yogas. And if you get your yogas and then jump to this sort of a condition about which Sri Krishna has described, that you go into Rakshasa Yoni. Those who come to Sahaja Yoga must know that you have to stick on to one thing properly. Otherwise, what is the yoni left? If you die without yoga, maybe you are born again. Maybe. Of course, this life is wasted. But if you try such tricks after coming to Sahaja Yoga and try to impress others that you are a very great realized soul or that you have achieved this and achieved that, all this nonsense that you have been doing before getting to realization, then there is a very serious offense and you are punished for that. This is the power of Kalaki.